Football Queensland's coverage of the 2019 NPL, NPLW and FQPL season is brought to you by Play Football. Join the team today. Visit playfootball.com.au to find your nearest club. Football Foundation, making football more accessible for every income, every gender, every ability, every background, every Indigenous Queenslander. Donate today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Walter Park for this round 20 NPLW clash between Moreton Bay United and South United. It's the Battle of the Uniteds. I'm Darren Lutton. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's what would you say? It's getting cool. It's getting cool. It was a reasonably warm afternoon, but now that the sun's disappearing, the temperatures are dropping. Both teams are in readiness. They've been rushed onto the field. We had an injury in the previous game which lasted about 10 to 15 minutes. And now that this game started, or now that the previous game's finished, the players have been rushed over onto the field. And without any ado, let's get into the team sheets. So for Moreton Bay United, number 1, Coco Majstorovic. Number 3, Xantha Norlander, making her debut today. Number 8, Jessica Dillon. Number 12, Rihanna Policina. Number 11, Alexandra Schaefer. Number 13, Meg McGilligan. Number 16, Riley Bisden. Number 18, Talia Reynolds. Number 19, Alexandria Walker. Number 21, Natalie Tatham. And number 22, Christy New. Very slim bench for Moreton Bay this afternoon. Alira Toby, Grace Chalmers, and Mackenzie Stokes. For South United, they have a new player in goal. Her name's Kirsten Viren. You might remember her from a couple of seasons ago playing for Western Pride. She's back in the competition following an injury to Chloe Cole. Number 2, Tioni Rushton. Number 4, Bronte Rose. Number 6, Billy Murphy. Number 8, Amy Morland. Number 9, Sydney Dooley. Number 10, Amy Chapman. Number 13, Taylor Stevens. Number 15, Rosie Sutton. Number 17, Tiani Karaluka. Number 19, Amber Sims. On the bench, Jodie Birchall, Aisha Norrie, Hannah Lane, Tara Jade Garnsworthy, and Dominic Spumpanado. Moreton Bay would like to thank their sponsors, Trueline and Hanno's Car Care. And for Souths, they'd like to thank their sponsors, AMJ Metal Roofing and Highway Stabiliser. The Total Tools referee who's got the game underway is Jack Powers, and the assistants Isaac Priest and Daniel McLaughlin. Last time that these teams met was a 3-1 victory to the Jets. Murphy scoring for Souths, and Spreadborough, Bisden and Walker scored for Moreton Bay. Moreton Bay currently in 18th place on the ladder. 15 wins, 3 losses. And Souths are hanging on to 6th. As this cross comes in, just over the top. So yes, 17 matches, so 1 game less for South United. 10 wins and 7 losses. Very interesting. Neither of these teams have had a draw this season. Could I put the mockers on them and they'll get one today? We will see. Now that the game's underway, a chance to catch our breath. I apologise if the introduction was quite breathy. I did a quick pitch inspection before coming up here, and lo and behold, the Total Tools referee, Jack Powers, brought the players out on the field. Must be looking for an early night. So interesting formation here for South United. They're going with a 3-5-2. It's the first time that Coach Gary French has played this formation. But at this time of the season, teams have suffering injury problems. And he just feels that it's the best use of the resources that he has. That he utilises the 3-5-2. So it'll be interesting to see how the team copes and also whether it's effective against this Moreton Bay team that have been scoring goals for fun this season. There's one of those players who's been scoring a few. That was Rihanna Polisana. This is Xantha Norlander giving the ball back to Majstorovic. Xantha having her debut this afternoon. She's spent 6 years at Moreton Bay. Walker, lovely through ball. Taylor Stevens got a foot out just at the right time. In fact, that was Billy Murphy. That long range ball finds Kirsten Viren, who gets her first touch of the afternoon. There's an injury to Chloe Cole in training. She just shifted her weight from one side to the other and did some serious damage to her knee that's going to put her out for over a year. In fact, it's got to spend a few weeks just to get the knee stable enough so that they can operate on it. So there's an MCL damage. That's the one that's got to clear up before they can operate on the ACL. And possibly a bit of meniscus damage as well. So shame to see Chloe Cole out. She's probably been the best keeper over the past 2 seasons, or 2.5 seasons that I've been covering the league. Certainly the most consistent. There have been other players that have had better seasons than her. As that long range attempt comes in. Kirsten Viren, who I thought was the best player in the league 2 seasons ago when she was playing for Western Pride. In fact, she was so good she got a call up to the Brisbane Raw team. She showed her experience there, despite only having 2 training sessions. She's been concentrating on her powerlifting. And there goes Viren, showing all her class. She's obviously still got all the skills. Showed good judgment there to collect that ball with ease. Moreton Bayer, of course, in the yellow shirts with the black trim. South United in their traditional green and white hoops. The turnover. Schaefer goes down, chases after the ball. That was Moreland coming away with things. She puts the ball out in front of Rosie Sutton. Christy New hands herself a free kick. A good physical start to this game. I think McGilligan, who spent a lot of the time earlier in this season off the bench, gets a start today. There's no wonder, considering that there's only 3 players on the bench for Moreton Bay this afternoon. And Billy Murphy goes back to Viren. He switches play out to Tioni Rushton. Rushton takes on Reynolds, gets around her. It's a decent cross in. Fortunately for South, there wasn't a player able to make an impact. Danger averted for the Jets. That's Murphy. ball into traffic. Another cross, no problem for New, but she's headed straight to Amy Chapman. Chapman just slowing things down. There's a good start here for Souths. Ashton looks inside. Couldn't link up with Chapman again. So good early signs here for South United. They've been struggling in recent weeks. They're normally pretty consistent. Find themselves in the unusual position of 6th on the ladder. Chance now for Norrie. Inside ball for Chapman. Souths have been rewarded for their early pressure. Amy Chapman, ever so coolly, puts the ball in the back of the net. And the visitors take an early lead. So just the weight of pressure there from South United. Doing all the right things, maintaining possession. Putting these Jets defenders under a lot of early pressure. They haven't quite got themselves in sync yet. And a good assist by Norrie, finding Chapman, who just placed the ball past Majstorovic. Good start here for Souths. Reynolds finds McGilligan. And Gilligan now has 2 to beat. Just loses the handle on the ball. Chapman again getting a touch. Amy Chapman, of course, a former Matilda, who's doing some work with Optus Sports recently with their coverage of the World Cup. Thought she did a fantastic job giving special comments for their coverage. Actually going to try and sneak an interview with her post-game. And so far these numbers that Souths have got in their midfield, it's coming up trumps. Posing a question for Moreton Bay. Let's see how Coach Hannafin responds. Policina, lovely through ball, looking for Bysden. Just wide. And Riley Bysden's the golden boot leader at the moment. South United players would have had their hands in their heads, holding breath, and that ball just goes wide. Such a potent offence, this Moreton Bay team. They've scored just as many goals as Lions. Conceded a few more. That's the difference between the two teams. Rushton wins the ball back for Souths. Stevens. Quite unusual seeing Billy Murphy playing as deep as she is today. Chapman didn't quite connect with her header, but it worked out well for Rushton. New. Reynolds. McGilligan. Really good energy from South United in these early stages. And go into this game as underdogs. And they're looking good with their early goal. Just their numbers in the midfield are just telling at the moment. All those 50-50 balls, they seem to be the ones getting on the end of things. Schaefer. Back for Dylan. He's looking to open up things on the other side of the field. Schaefer again. Comes out wide for Norlander. Dylan tries a long range attempt, straight to Viren. I think we need to look out for in the coverage today. We've got Xantha Norlander for Moreton Bay and Amy Moreland for South United. So hopefully we won't make any mix-ups there. This is Norlander. Just getting past Moreland. Rushton now for South. Stands up McGilligan. Gets past her. Will she go for a run? Instead, she surrenders the ball back to Reynolds. Murphy goes back to Viren. McGilligan. Tried a long range attempt there. The ball actually stays in the field of play. Well, that speculative attempt from McGilligan did not please Coach Scare Hannafin. Good quality start from both these teams. They're looking to retain possession. Passing the ball nicely amongst each other. The game's being played at a good tempo. Schaefer loses out to Moreland. This is Dooley. Christy New goes back to Majstorovic. He puts the ball behind Reynolds. And Souths now have an attacking throw in. So 15 minutes in, it's Moreton Bay United 0, South United 1. Chapman finds Sutton. Still there for Souths. Crossfield ball. That was a Ishinori. Straight to Majstorovic. Here comes Souths again. Some lovely 1-2s. Player goes down. No decision. Ball ends up in Majstorovic's hands. Again, when South United get into the attacking third, they're looking very potent. Given that Moreton Bay United have no issues scoring goals, we could be in for a bit of a goal feast this afternoon. Moreland just looking for an option. Downfield ball finds Sutton. Moreland again in behind the defence looking for Chapman. Chapman can't quite get there. Majstorovic comes out quickly. Offside flag was up. There was another match being played this afternoon. Big game between Capalaba and the Gap. Both those teams in the top 6. And at half-time there, it was the Gap 1, Capalaba 0. Thank you to Caroline, the Lions manager, for sending that result through. Dylan goes back to Reynolds. Reynolds has plenty of time to look for an option. Likes to go back to New. McGilligan. Scotty Walker. Scotty Walker so comfortable on the ball. Creates some space for herself. Crossfield ball for Bysden. Viren comes out. Couldn't collect, but did enough. And South's defence tidy up. New again with time to just measure a pass. This time Viren goes short. Stevens. He finds Norrie. Dylan. Back to New. Schaefer. Under pressure from Amber Sims. The long field ball finds Bysden. Goal kick is the decision. So I've been advised that we're going to have a minimum of 5 degrees tonight, so it's reasonably warm while the sun was out. You can feel that temperature dropping already. Should be great conditions for the players. As I mentioned before, I did walk the pitch and eventually ended up having to run the pitch. But the ground is nice and soft. So plenty of give there for the players. At this time of the year, after so many games, you normally expect the pitch to be hard here at Walter Park. It certainly has been in previous years. It's certainly the softest I've ever felt it. In fact, got to give credit to all the grounds keepers at all the grounds that we visit during the season. The pitches have just been in fantastic condition. They've been so well maintained. I can't think of a poor ground that I've been to this season. Here goes straight down the middle to find Stevens. Sits up nicely for Walker. Walker couldn't find McGilligan. And this time McGilligan gets the ball. We'll have another go. Ball cut out there by Sims. And again, the Jets will load up. Not afraid of completely bypassing this midfield. So I mentioned before about Souths winning the midfield early. It looks like we've got our response from Moreton Bay that they're going to just bypass them completely. Having said that, Souths are probably throwing 4 into their defensive line now. It'll be interesting to see if Gary French does stick with this formation. He's certainly got the players that can make a 3-5-2 work. Tioni Rushton on the right-hand side, an Energizer Bunny. He'll run up and down the pitch all afternoon. This is Sutton. Rosie Sutton, of course, spent a bit of time with the Western Sydney Wanderers. Rushton. A little bit static in front of her. Sims, who's been busy early. Back for Viren, who goes straight down the middle to find Dillon. The rebound comes to Rushton. Rushton taking on Reynolds. McGilligan comes out to assist. So just past the halfway through this first half, this is Football Queensland's presentation of the NPLW. I'm Darren Ludden. Thank you for tuning in this afternoon via Facebook Live or the YouTube channel. It's currently 1-0 to South United. Goal from Amy Chapman in the 7th minute. South have been good for their lead so far. Having said that, Moreton Bay always a team that always poses a threat. Dooley goes crossfield, trying to find Chapman. Reynolds looking for McGilligan down the left-hand side. This time McGilligan will take possession. Schaefer's touched a little bit too heavy. Cut out by Norrie. Schaefer wins the ball back though. Pure determination. Norrie finds Chapman. We only had Rosie Sutton in front of her. Norlander is down the line looking for Bysden and finds her. Riley Bysden's got space to move into. This is danger for the Jets. Cross just a little bit too high. Rushton clears. Header won by Christy New. Chapman finds Sutton. Sutton gets around Reynolds. Through ball, can't get past New. Norrie cuts the ball out for Souths. Norrie finds McGilligan. McGilligan not quite on the same wavelength as the teammate Jess Dillon. Norlander. In field for Tatham. There were rumblings from Moreton Bay that Amy Jackson would be fit to play again this week. She started the first 5 games before succumbing to injury. She hasn't quite pulled up this week. She shouldn't be too far away. Chance again for South United to get forward. Reynolds. So just 6 rounds left in this competition before we hit the finals. Of course, it is a top 6 this season. South United holding down that 6th place. If I remember correctly, it's somewhere between a 4 and a 6 point gap that they have over Logan Lightning. I believe it's 6 points. So win this afternoon would be well and truly entrench them in that top 6. Logan, of course, losing last night. I'll run through all the weekend's events. Probably get to those in the second half. He's looking a little bit ungainly here for Moreton Bay. They've still been pulled a little bit out of shape. Getting things back together now, though. Tatham finds Dillon. Lovely touch from Jess Dillon. And through ball, can't link up with a teammate. Scotty Walker was lurking with intent. Ball stays in play. Taylor Stevens with a crucial intervention. Meg McGilligan was licking her lips then. Ashton finds Chapman. Chapman got around Policina. Then a through ball, just a little bit too deep. Tatham. Given plenty of the pitch to work with there. Brought the ball out of defence comfortably. Couldn't find Bisden though. Murphy. Moreland. Free kick to South United. Amy Chapman's going to get a talking to. If I heard her correctly, she was complaining that I think she might have got caught in the back of her leg with some studs. Looking for a free kick. Didn't receive one from Total Tools referee Jack Powers. Great turn from Norrie there. Get herself out of danger. Through ball looking for Chapman. Starovic comes off a line to tidy up. Christy New, former Olympic player before joining the Jets last season. Sutton got an Isha Norrie running forward. Play cut out there by McGilligan. Reynolds looking to get forward now. Rushton was smart. Got back in time to tidy things up. Ball coming out wide now for Bisden. Wins her team. Well, goal kicks the decision. Perhaps that ball ran out of play before she got a touch. Viren goes short. Finds Norrie. Sims. Stevens. Crossfield ball looking for Sutton. Couldn't find her. Rushton goes long with her throw. Wasn't really to the advantage of Sutton. Stevens. Murphy. Sims. Policina cuts the ball out and then promptly gives the ball straight back. Now this is Bysden with a little bit of space in front of her, as we've seen this season. That spells danger. Bronte Rose. Rose again. Normally plays a lot more centrally. Here's a chance now for the Jets. This is Walker looking infield for a runner. Shot from from Schaefer is blocked. Viren, who initially fell over, was able to recover in time. Reynolds coming forward, finding Walker. And too many green and white shirts there. These teams looking to get the ball forward so quickly. Let's take out this midfield. Chapman. Norrie. Morland's touch. Couldn't quite bring the ball under control. Really good battle between these two teams. It's enthralling stuff. Both teams have got plenty of weapons on the field. I'm likening it to a fencing match at the moment. A lot of thrust and parry. Chapman. Chance now for the Jets to come again. This is Bysden. The ball in behind Schaefer. Dillon. This is more what we're used to seeing from the Jets, a little bit more patient. Walker went down. No free kick given. And Chapman's now in a bit of space. Amy Chapman's got Rosie Sutton in the middle. The cross is blocked by Reynolds. South United have a corner. Don't forget to follow Football Queensland on Instagram and Facebook for the latest football news and events across the state. You can find us at Football QLD. The corner finds Rushton in an acre of space. Perhaps a little bit wasteful with the cross. A little bit too direct. Couldn't quite get that curve Out to the left-hand post where all of her teammates were waiting. Natalie Tatham, who's started back her pre-season training with the Brisbane Roar. This time Reynolds wins the battle. And plenty of work down this right-hand side. Talia Reynolds has had to get through a ton of work. Stray pass, finds Norrie. Long range attempt. A bit weak from Moreland. Probably had a little bit more time than she thought she did. Could have perhaps taken a touch or two. Reynolds, former Gold Coast City player. That ball's a little bit too direct and too deep. And Kirsten Viren's showing in this match that she's only had 2 training sessions coming into this game. She's certainly lost none of her skills. She'll be taking up the gloves for South United for the remainder of the season. Moreland earns a free kick. That ball goes straight through. Ruston couldn't quite get there in time. Polsina is back to New. Talia Reynolds, I feel as if I've called her name the most in this first half. She's seen plenty of the play. Ball cut out there by Souths. It's been a frenetic first half between these two teams. Just judging by the expressions on some of the players' faces as that ball ran out of play. They'll be looking forward to getting into the sheds and catching their breath. As the cross comes in, couldn't quite find McGilligan. Ruston plays a 1-2 with Chapman. This time Reynolds cuts play out. Walker still keeps the ball in play, goes down. Billy Murphy with the win. McGilligan. Norlander. These Moreton Blair players very comfortable with the ball at their feet, the defensive line. Lovely through there from Walker. Can she get there first? She can, and it's 1-1. Scotty Walker levels up the scores here at Walter Park. It was a lovely through ball in behind the defence. Walker with plenty of pace, gets in behind. Gets a touch on the ball just before Viren can get there. And now it's a goal apiece. Just a couple of minutes to go before the end of the first half. Murphy looking for options. Ended up not finding any. McGilligan comes forward. Still McGilligan. Back for Reynolds. Schaefer. Likes to go back to Tatham. Norlander. Safety first, back to Tatham. Tatham goes down the line looking for Bysden. Policina. Loses out. Reynolds still going. Finds McGilligan. Will Murphy get there in time? She does. But you can't beat the offside flag. So just about to hit first half injury time. I can't think of any stoppages that we've had, so as soon as it gets to 45, it might as well be it. That shot from McGilligan gets blocked. Sutton. Past nutmegs Rushton. Norrie. He's back to Tatham. Crossfield ball finds Reynolds. Couldn't quite link up with McGilligan. Here goes Rosie Sutton for a run. Christy New show to the right hand side. She took it. Still Sutton. Looking for Chapman. Leaves it for Norrie. Cleared by the Jets. And Norrie has the ball again. Long range attempt straight to Mastorovic. He had to keep her hands clean. So we've hit 45 minutes. It's been a really entertaining first half. And there it is. Round 20 here at Walter Park. And it's South. So got off the mark early with Amy Chapman scoring in the 7th minute. And then in the 43rd minute, Scotty Walker snuck in behind the South United defence to level the scores. So here at Walter Park, we'll be back very shortly with the second half. It's Moreton Bay United 1, South United 1.
Why do I play football?
Why do we play football? I play for fitness.
For competition.
Community spirit.
It's healthy and safe.
And fun.
I play for celebration.
What's your reason? Join our team.
swear a lot at Total Tools. We swear by our range. We swear by our service. And of course, we swear by our prices. So you'll know that you're buying at the best price every day. Total Tools. Every tool, every trade. We swear a lot at Total Tools. We swear by our range. We swear by our service. And of course, we swear by our prices. So you'll know that you're buying at the best price every day. Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
And we get another minute. Oh, that's an opportunity! Oh, what a goal!
Magic feat to score a blinder. Turning them.
Welcome back to Walter Park for this round 20 NPLW clash between Moreton Bay United and South United. It's currently 1-1 after the first 45. Been a pretty competitive game so far. Both teams have thrown plenty at the contest. Been heaps of energy. And an early goal by South was cancelled out just before half time by Scotty Walker. We had a big temperature drop during that half-time break. It's now really cold here at Albany Creek. So players on the bench are going to have to do their best to keep warm. It looks like Alira Toby's about to come on for the second half. She does make her way onto the field. That's just having a quick word there with Rosie Sutton. So, all set for a start here at Walter Park. I'll just quickly run through some of the other scores that we've had this weekend in this round 20 lot of fixtures. Of course, Western Pride had the bye this weekend. Sunshine Coast Wanderers took on Raw NTC and had a 1-0 victory. Rael Avery with the goal. Big result. Gold Coast United just continuing on their winning way. Big 7-1 victory over Southwest Queensland Thunder. That ball deflects. Here's Alira Toby. Cleared by Souths. Just going back to those other results. The big result so far the weekend was Eastern Suburbs, a 3-2 win over Logan Lightning. Dixon, Popovich and Lambie with the goals. Pinkney and Timko scoring for Logan. Lions had a tougher than expected 3-1 victory over Mitchelton. Passion scoring one from the penalty spot. And double for Tegan Riding, which puts her with Riley Bosden, who's on the ball now, as top of the Golden Boot standings. This is Alira Toby. Earns a corner for her team. And Curtis scoring the other goal for Mitchelton in that 3-1 loss. In the match this afternoon, I believe we have a full-time score of the Gap 4, Capalaba 0. Big result there for the Gap. Been also another team that's in red-hot form at the moment. Norrie finds Chapman. Ishinori, did she stay onside? No, she didn't. She ran off, couldn't get back in time. So yes, in that 4-0 victory over Capalaba, Sean Fryer with the double, Talitha Dorro and Ruth Blackburn with singles. But yes, the big movement in the ladder at the moment is Gold Coast United. They lost their coach, Michael Cook, during the season. And after a few mixed results, the teams got hot. So, of course, their their draw over the lines. And since then, they've just gone on a winning run. Of course, form is all important when you're playing in finals football. You want to be the hot team going into the finals. So certainly a side to look out for. But my spies tell me that the Gap have been very impressive in recent weeks as well. So this top six is throwing up some interesting options. Viren goes straight down the middle. Walker leaves the ball behind. Moreland. Rushton. Rushton takes on Reynolds, gets past her. Rushton again. She's got Sutton in the middle, finds her. Sutton mistimed her shot. It's probably the first real goal threatening opportunity Rosie Sutton's had in this game so far. This is Bysden. Lovely sliding tackle from Bronte Rose. Wonderful technique. It was so good to watch. You don't get to see many sliding tackles in this league. Most players just tend to stay on their feet and use their skill. That was impressive. Corner here for the Jets. The ball goes harmlessly out of play. Lyra Toby and Tioni Rushton having a little battle there. So much pace on this field at the moment. So many players, when you think about what they bring to the game and their skill set. Pace is in abundance this evening. Here's Toby. Crossfield ball found McGilligan. Couldn't get the ball under control. This is Policina. Drives forward. Another great sliding tackle again. This time from Sims. This is Bronte Rose. Chips the ball forward. Sutton is not quite on that wavelength. Going to play it down at the moment. It's Tioni Rushton who's down. Looks to be reaching for possibly a hamstring injury. That could be an issue. We might see a substitution here. Gary French goes to his bench. Looks like Tiani Karaluka could be the player coming on. So Rushton's coming off the field. Her evening's done. Well, having said that, the substitution hasn't been made yet. So it looks like the French just might be waiting on word to see if she is all right to continue. And doing a test on her. So South United currently down to 10 players. Toby. Ball won back again by Souths. This is Norrie. Souths just playing patiently at the moment. The call's come out now for the substitution to be made. Rose under pressure from Bysden. Didn't see her coming. Will the offside flag stay down? It does stay down. Moreton Bay have their second. Well, we thought for sure that the offside flag was going to go up. And just like that, before South United can make their substitution, they've been punished. South players calling for the substitution to be made. I have to confess, I really have no idea who the player was that scored. We'll just do a little quick check back, try and work out who that was. Just got caught out there. We've got a few things happening on the field at the moment. And the substitution has been made. Had a guess, I'd probably say it was Riley Bysden. So no, it's probably Meg McGilligan. We might go with, might credit McGilligan with the goal. I'm sure I'll be corrected by whoever out there was watching a little bit more closely than myself. Here comes House. Lovely through ball. Jets doing enough to clear. That was Sydney Dooley with the attempt. Just raised the ball when perhaps she didn't need to. So us now have a full complement on the field. Lovely through ball that was. Here comes the corner. Starovich came out quickly. So after going a goal behind, Moreton Bay now have the lead. Been such a powerhouse this season, just the 3 losses. And their matches against Lions accounted for 2 of them. Play on's a call. Tatham brings the ball out of defence. This is Dylan. Turn over to Norrie. Actually, that was Karaluka. Sutton. Karaluka. Free kick. New South players just letting things get away from them there. They were fortunate that ball went out of play. They just dropped their guard a little bit. Weren't quite keeping their shape. A few players were walking. They just needed to maintain their discipline. Fortunately for them, they weren't punished. This is Rose and Toby. Throw in for Moreton Bay. I'll get another attempt. Toby hasn't been on the field long, but boy, she's shown plenty of class, hasn't she? Shown all her skills. Expected to have another wonderful season for the Raw. As I mentioned in the first half, Brisbane Raw players all getting together for their pre-season in recent weeks. Strong header on the South's defence, averting the danger. No problem now for Viren. New. Tatham. Looks like those two players have switched sides for the second half. Chapman lets the ball get away from her. It's going to be interesting to see what the Jets do now that they have the lead. Are they going to slow things down a little bit and manage this game out? Or will they push on? The normal modus operandi is to just attack. Lovely ball over the top. Storovic came out quickly. This is Sims. Murphy. Cross just a little bit too deep. Norlander. It's done pretty well in her debut so far. Can't think of any glaring errors that she's made. Seems to be pretty competent. Looks pretty comfortable on the ball. Getting plenty of support from her teammates. Here she is on the ball again. And Tatham has come back to her right-hand side. Of the centre of defence. Norlander's touch just letting it down a bit there. Rose couldn't keep the ball in play. Field ball finds Sims. If he tried to find Sutton, couldn't keep the ball under control. Now she's won the ball back. This is Sutton. Rosie Sutton in field. And that shot just over the top. Ishinori with the attempt. Ishinori had plenty of time. She could have taken a touch. Of course, she couldn't have known what was behind her. Another turnover in a dangerous position. Souths don't make the Jets pay on this occasion. Still there for them though. Sutton. Boston. Boston gets past two. Crossfield ball, looking for Toby. Again, just a little bit too straight. Too many Souths players in the way. So South scoring first was probably the best thing for this game as a contest. Free kick there. And since going behind, they've shown plenty of intent. And some good half opportunities. They've got another one here. Amy Chapman's going to stand over the ball. We've seen her score directly from free kicks already this season. It's probably a little bit too deep for her. Looking for some options. Crosses the ball in. Starovic again came off a line quickly. Koko Mestorovic been really consistent this season. Certainly seen some improvement from last year. She was pretty good last year, it has to be said, but she has certainly taken her game up another level. This is Bysden. Riley Bysden gets around one, gets a shot away, which is blocked. Sims clears. Here comes, that's Karaluka. Sutton and Chapman playing the 1-2. This is Norrie. Will she get a shot away? She elects to retain possession. Look for her options. Finds Chapman. Now Toby takes on Rose. This is Dooley. Crossfield ball. Looking for Norrie. Ishinori's been very busy in this second half. Another turnover and the shot. Straight at Mestorovic. South showing plenty of fight in this second half. Wootton Bay players just sharing the ball amongst the back line. Here comes the pressure from Norrie. New controlling the ball just in time. Norlander. Policina. Back for New. McGilligan. Moreton Bay defenders just sharing the ball amongst each other at the moment, racking up the passing stats. Byston gets her foot on the ball and goes downfield. Works out well. This is Toby. Lyra Toby goes down. Poor ball back in from Viren. Stevens tidies up for United. United of the South variety, that is. Visit footballqueensland.com.au for all the latest NPL, NPLW, FQPL and community news from across the state. Got a couple of stories here that I want to share with you shortly. Of course, NAIDOC week. Been fantastic seeing some of the kits that some teams have put out. Unfortunately, not that these two clubs were involved. Get tidies up for the Jets. Turns around and finds a little bit of space, so she decides to go for a run. Seems to have swapped position with Reynolds in the second half. Gilligan, the one playing the deeper role. Norrie goes down, gets a free kick. The Football Queensland's the Girls Gala events came to an end this week after 9 sessions held in locations across the state. Free the Girls Gala events provide an opportunity for women and girls to give football a go in a social setting. This, of course, all coincided with the Women's World Cup. We'll talk about that shortly. It's Chapman's shot just over the bar. Just looking at the body language of the South players at the moment. They still look reasonably calm. They're probably going to have to raise their level just a touch. Going to need that moment of magic from their forwards if they're to get back into this game. Toby taking on Rose again. Rose puts the ball out of play. So that, the Girls' Gala at the one held at Robina Soccer Club was the biggest of them all, with 85 participants. It was a great roll-up for a session. This is Bysden. Back for Toby. Cut out by Taylor. That's clearance straight into a teammate. It's Amy Morland who's down. That ball in the face in these cold conditions. certainly be painful. Looks like Moreton Bay readying another substitution. There's only 3 on the bench for Moreton Bay tonight. As their squad has been fully tested, is wafer thin. I'm sure it's the case for most teams this time of the year. As the rigours of a 26-round competition take their toll. So Xantha Moorlanders, the player coming off. Been a pretty good debut from her. She's replaced by Grace Chalmers. So that's the second substitution from Moreton Bay. Scotty Walker was the player that came off at the halftime break. She was, of course, the goal scorer. This is Norrie. Gets a cross in, looking for Sutton. Gallagher goes down the line, but she can only find Karaluka. Karaluka just promptly returns the ball back to Christy New. Another chance now for South. Sutton is going into traffic. Now Riley Bysden has her chance. Lovely ball looking for Toby, who gets a touch. Can't get the ball past the keeper. Viren doing well there. Bronte Rose coming over to assist. Again, just a little bit sloppy with these two teams at the moment. Number of turnovers has just gone up in the past couple of minutes. That first half, of course, was played at a frenetic pace. They've all taken their toll. Back for Karaluka. It's time to measure across. Can't find Sutton. This is Toby. She's got runners behind her if she can turn. Total Tools referee, Jack Powers, playing the advantage before blowing the whistle. So free kick to Moreton Bay. Just short of the hour mark here at Walter Park. It's currently 2-1 to the home team. It's Tathan. It's out wide looking for Bysden. Bysden for Chalmers. Pass just a little bit stray. The Jets surrender a free kick. This is Bysden again. Infield ball. There is Walker. I thought she'd been substituted. She's still on the field. Allegra Toby with the win. South are clear. Back for Chalmers. Finds Dillon. Out for Bysden. Bysden goes cross field. Finds Norrie. South's just looking for their outlet at the moment. Things are pretty static for them. Not surprisingly, they turn the ball over. This is Toby. Another chance now for South to clear. Moreland goes for the safety of Viren. Promptly puts the ball out of play. South just need to regather themselves at the moment. Using Tiani Rushton's been massive for them. Rushton's such an important carrier of the ball down the field. Of course, did a hamstring about just 5 minutes into the second half. So things just a little bit static for South United. There's a Toby with the shot, just over the bar. I've seen Amy Chapman playing a little bit more advanced than she did in the first half. So a little bit of reorganising has caused some problems for South to solve. Can they find a way? This is Sutton. Sutton, she's now got some space. She's got Chapman deep. Can't be found with the cross. Jess Dillon comes over. Never so calmly, just heads the ball back to Majstorovic. Nice little moment there for South United. Viren. Rose. Scoops the ball out for Murphy. Norrie. It's a nice touch looking for Sutton. McGilligan gets back in time. Rose. Searching ball downfield, finds Sutton. South now getting a little bit of joy down that right-hand side. This is Norrie with the shot. Just scooped it a little bit too high. So perhaps that's their avenue. Sutton out wide on the right-hand side. Yisha Norrie coming through the middle. I've tried that a couple of times now with good modicum of success. Ali Schaefer's the player that was substituted at half-time. Nice touch there from Sutton. Finds Norrie. South looking good now. Another chance for Sutton, and they get their equaliser! Well, it was coming. You had to say it was coming. Lovely, well-worked move. Sutton and Norrie just weaving their magic. Great interplay of passes, and it's now 2-2. Well, Rosie Sutton's been feeding off scraps all game. She finally gets her moment. Didn't she make it count? Questions now being asked of the team in second place. It is, of course, Moreton Bay. Been in cruise control since taking the lead. Can they find another gear again? This is Toby. She's been the spark for them in the second half. So we're set up now for a grandstand finish. I mentioned in the first half, neither of these two teams have drawn a game this season. Gary French has shuffled his deck. He's been forced to do so, and it's finally worked out well for him. This is Toby. Norrie. Moreland. Good win there by Policina. Out now for Bysden. Bysden with the early cross. Looking for Toby. McGilligan goes down. Free kick just outside the box. Billy Murphy was the player sliding in. Now Moreton Bay have a free kick in a very dangerous position. South's goalkeeper Kirsten Verens had just 2 sessions since being called into this South United squad. She's going to have to be at her best here. Lyra Toby standing over the ball. Toby just over the top. Disappointing there for Moreton Bay. Let off there for Souths. So just over 20 minutes to go. It's 2-2. We've got a good game here at Sunday Night Football. I hope you're enjoying it, wherever in the world you may be tuning in from. Crossfield ball finds Bysden. Still Bysden. Finds Toby. Toby gets his shot away. Hooked it just a little bit too much. Moreton Bay coming up with a response. I've had the questions put to them. Of course, for Moreton Bay, they're trying to chase down Lions for this premiership. Lions have, of course, been unbeaten this season, just the 2 draws. Moreton Bay have had 3 losses. So you'd think that if Moreton Bay are going to be premiers this season, they'll have to be perfect from here on in. Important clearance there from Tatham. We've really got a game on our hands now. Both coaches tonight having to earn their corn and put in situations where they had to reshuffle their team. Make some in-game adjustments. Both have done so. Both have had positive effects for their team. Rose. And 2 players to go for. Found Tatham in between them. This is new. Policina. Back for Tatham. Dylan. Grace Chalmers now with a wealth of space to move into. Bysden making a run in front of her. Goes infield for Walker. Walker again. Finding Bysden. Bysden. Did she get a shot away? She can, but it's blocked. Great defensive work from Billy Murphy. Jets now have a corner. Deep delivery right in the middle of the box, and the shot goes in. Great save from Viren. Not only did she make the save, but she was able to clear it away from the goal line. It goes out for yet another corner. Jets looking to pile on some pressure. Viren with the great hands, to the delight of her teammates. South looking to go quickly now. Ball from Chapman, couldn't find Norrie. Chalmers. Dylan. Sits there for Walker, who gets a shot away. It's skied. So just talking before about the Jets needing this win to keep in the premiership race. If I was Gary French, I'd be more than satisfied with a point here at Waltz Park. They look like they're a team that's going for the win. They're currently in 6th place. It would take an absolute miracle for them to somehow win the premiership. And a lot of good teams dropping a lot of points. You'd have to say that the top 6 is the highest of their ambitions. Currently in 6th place. They've got Logan below them who are dropping points. So if they could come away with a point here tonight, they would just tighten the screw a little bit more, make their place a little bit more secure. This is New, storming out of defence. So it was Tatham. Gifted the ball back to Murphy. Again goes downfield looking for Norrie. Got the touch. Couldn't quite lead it on for Sutton. And they've called full time. Well, our clock has the game in 73 minutes, but it's full time. There we go. 90 minutes there. There we go. Well, there you go. There's the end of the game. What a fantastic game between these two teams. 2-2 the final result. Goals for South United from Amy Chapman and Rosie Sutton. Goals for Moreton Bay from Scotty Walker. And we'll credit the goal to Megan McGilligan. So there it is. An important win for South United to keep them in the hunt for the top 6. Moreton Bay, that's another 2 points dropped against Lions. Their job of getting this premiership for the 2019 season just got that little bit harder. But there it is. Fascinating game tonight. I'm Darren Lutton. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of Gina McGlifty at Double Take, this is Football Queensland's presentation of the NPLW. We'll catch up with you next week.